Hello, Nuggets. So, I ran a little experiment, and I just remembered another experiment I said I was going to do, which is no soda. Fuck, I've got to do that. Anyway, I ran a little experiment. So, if you're watching these blogs, you must know I'm circumcised. If not, well done on skipping that stuff. So, here's the thing. Circumcision is not a conversation I had ever had, really. I mean, I must have done. But I never thought about it. It wasn't part of my life. I never searched circumcision or anything until I had the phimosis, right? And then I researched phimosis. And then the phimosis research led to the options, one of which is circumcision. And then I read about adult circumcision. So this whole cycle of going to the doctors, getting phimosis, reading about it, doing all that, making a decision, that whole process took about 4 months to where we are today, right? So 4 months ago was the first time it even entered my head. I started to have the conversation about circumcision via phimosis, because of phimosis. Never thought about it in my life at all. Okay, so here's the experiment. I have stopped using Google for about 18 months now. I haven't been using it. I use DuckDuckGo for my search engine. I use Firefox for my browser, and occasionally Edge for websites that won't use Firefox or whatever. But there's nothing in Edge. I mean, like every time I open it says, would you like to set up Edge? So I literally use it to view one page every so often. So I'm Firefox, DuckDuckGo for search, install DuckDuckGo for the search bar so I don't use Google, and uBlock Origin and various other little bits and pieces. The point is I've been very active on my online privacy for about 18 months now, really being focused in on it. I don't use Google. I don't use Google Maps. I don't use any of that stuff at all. I do occasionally use Google Maps, or always use Google Maps on my phone when I'm driving for my GPS. But that's the only place. I also have a Gmail account. However, my Gmail account is really my spam account, right? It's what I use to register for websites that I think just I have to register, but I don't really want to use them. So I very rarely get things in my Gmail account. I get YouTube stuff because my YouTube account is tied to it. And occasionally if I'm Google Docs sharing for one of my writing jobs, but I don't really use it much, right? So the first thing that happened 18 months ago, I'll get back to why I was saying about the circumcision. But the first thing that happened 18 months ago is that when I stopped using Google, my spam in all of my email accounts, my regular email account and my Gmail account, dropped massively, right? So I just assumed it was cookies, it was data, it was whatever. I don't understand this stuff very much, but I wasn't being secure at all about my privacy. And I would just get, 20 spam emails a day for Cialis and Viagra and meds from Mexico and all of the usual crap that you get, coupon codes, all of that shit, right? On all of my emails. 18 months ago, I opt out of Google. Just stop using it as much as I possibly can. My spam went down massively. I didn't go out and say, take me off your list. I didn't unsubscribe or anything. I just did as I always did, deleted them, got rid of it. And just over the course of 18 months, less and less and less, I get maybe 1 or 2 spam emails a day now. And they're always those spam emails that I don't even think are targeted. Like the text is written in kind of hieroglyphs, and it's usually for Viagra, for big penis extenders or whatever. Like literally, I don't think that they found my name or have been sold my data. I think they just send it to all@gmail.com, right? So I get a few of those, but it's been going down and down and down to the point now where spam's not really an issue for me, Maybe 2 or 3 emails in each account a day or less, something like that. But then I decided to run an experiment. I thought, well, I haven't got any spam email about adult circumcision. Why would I? It's not like I've ever said, hey, Google, can you look up adult Okay, it didn't open. I suddenly thought if I got home. No, because I got it turned off on my phones and stuff. But I didn't ever ask, right? So then I turned on Google. I thought, I'm going to search it on Google. I had a question about my adult circumcision. I had a question about it, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to Google search this. So I reinstalled Chrome, because I don't even have it on my computer. I took it off completely. I reinstalled Chrome. I logged in, and I did a search in Google. without DuckDuckGo, without any of my privacy things on. Just the way a normal person would open Google Chrome and search. So I did that, opened it up, and I searched and I did my data. I closed it down, and I went away for the day, did my whatever. Came in the next day, 30 spam emails in my Gmail account. 30, maybe 25. It was the screen. It was my preview pane was all spam emails. All of them about sex and penis extenders and Viagra and all that kind of stuff, and health and medical, all just medical stuff. Now, I'm nearly 50, so I'm sure I'm on a list. I'm sure in the database it says this guy's AARP ready, whatever, But still, I found that a little bit odd. I think that was a little weird. I haven't been getting spam. I use Chrome for one day and search without any privacy filters in place, and I just get pounded by all of this spam. Okay, so I uninstalled Chrome. I've gone back to using Firefox. I use DuckDuckGo. I use YouTube in a private browser window, although that doesn't really do anything, just so you know. Private browsing is not really private browsing. But I just do it out of force of habit. It's my one private browsing in Firefox that I have open, so I can always find it. I'm like, okay, that's all I have on there is my YouTube channel. That's it. But so I've gone back to doing all of that stuff. I'm back on the Firefox, and in the last 2 days, the spam has started to go down a little bit. I'm getting maybe 15 again now. So it could be, I know that correlation is not causation. I know that it could be completely unrelated, but it's odd, isn't it? For 18 months, I had a pretty consistent amount of spam, 2 or 3 a day, because of the actions I took to protect my privacy. I then go out of my way to say, I am not going to be private, and I'm going to search something that has only been relevant in my life in the last couple of months. And see what happens. And Google picks it up and starts sending me shit. So if you're not protecting your privacy and you don't think it matters, it does. It makes a difference to your life. You don't have to think about the end game, right? You don't have to think like, it's whatever. I've got nothing to hide. I'll just search whatever. My life is better because I'm more proactive on my privacy. My email's cleaner. I don't feel like I'm getting targeted. It just feels better. And all you have to do is not use Google Chrome. Use something like Firefox or Opera, or I think even Edge is better than Chrome now. Whatever, there's lots of options out there. And then install something like uBlock Origin. I highly recommend uBlock Origin. It works great. It's just an extension you add to Firefox. You can add it to Google Chrome as well, actually. But you just add it, and it will just block a ton of sites and cookies, and you can just reject sites and just say, I'm not going there, I don't want that. It will pop up a warning if they're specifically asking for data from you, which kind of helps you think, maybe that's a risky website. It's really helpful, so I would highly recommend doing it. I think the problem is that I don't think Google are nefarious. I could be naive about that. I don't think that they're particularly evil. I just think that they've become so big that they've lost control. I do. I just think they're too huge. They've lost control. That happens when companies get that massive. It all becomes about the money and the stockholders and the drive forth, and there's everyone in there has an agenda to push things forward, and the pureness of what Google was. I remember using Alta Vista search engine before, when Google was just coming up. That's how old I am. I remember when Google was first starting. And the thing that made Google great over Yahoo, as it was back then, and MSN Search and Alta Vista and all those other things, is how clean and simple it was. It's just one search box. They've kept that, but all of the other crap around it has spiraled out of control. So stop using it. Seriously, your life will be better. Just stop using it. Download Firefox, install uBlock Origins, use DuckDuckGo, which actually I recommend even more than uBlock Origins. DuckDuckGo is amazing. So when I don't Google things anymore, I DuckDuckGo them. I probably get less results. But, if I Google something and I get 15 million results, am I worried that Google would have given me 16 million? No, who gives a shit? They're crappy results anyway, right? It doesn't filter your results in the same way. So Google, when you get when you put a search query into Google, it returns relevant answers to you. We think relevant is a non-personal term. It's not. It's relevant to you. It's what Google thinks you want to see. So for example, if I were a Nazi, right, and I wanted to search, is climate change a hoax? I read an article about this, so I'm sorry if I'm stealing. It's not my idea. I stole it from someone else. Is climate change a hoax? It's going to send me, it's going to recommend pages that confirm my idea. Not that Nazis are anti-climate. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, if I think climate change is a hoax, Google will say, these are the sites you should read because this is what you're interested in, right? And it will confirm my bias. It will be the echo chamber. It will tell me that, yeah, climate change is a hoax. If I'm not, and I put the same question in, it will study my data, see what kind of person I am, and say, yeah, look, here's proof that climate change is a hoax, is not a hoax. So it's actually not giving me a search result. It's not searching the words. It's searching the words and then filtering them based on what it thinks, Google thinks I want to see. DuckDuckGo doesn't do that. It just gives you the result, which means you find that there's a lot of ugly, ugly shit on the internet. But I would rather have that. It's pure, it's honest, you know. I mean, hopefully they don't get too big. Don't use them, actually. Because if they get big, they'll just end up like Google. That's what happens. They're not dark, evil companies. I really don't believe that. I just think they're too big. They've lost the plot. They've just become a money-making machine. That's all they are now, and all that matters is that revenue. So there you go. That's my experiment done. I'm now back to Firefox. I've cleaned everything out. I've got rid of Chrome. To be safe, I logged out of every single website I have. Don't use a password manager, by the way. And I might do another video on passwords, actually, because every one of you has a bad system, and it's really easy to fix. Really easy to fix. There is an easy way to remember every password you have and have every password different. Anyway, I'll do another video about that. So yeah, that's it. I'm back to normal now. DuckDuckGo is my search engine. uBlock Origin's on. Spam is going down. If I remember, I'll update you. But that correlation is causation. Have a good day. Bye.